Oh God, where did it go? I can't. Okay, I found it. Okay, Carlos here, live from my favorite chair, where the only thing tighter than my shirt, tighter than my shirt. Hold on, let's do this again because I didn't get my coffee here. Carlos here, live from my favorite chair, where the only thing tighter than my shirt is my grip on this coffee right here. Ah, delicious. Anyway, um, for the uninitiated, I'm a stand-up comedian. My act is mostly me wondering why the internet bills are so high nowadays. And frankly, that's funnier than most things that are streaming these days. Which brings us to this. Today, we're reacting to finely tuned comedic critics over at Comedy Enforcement. Seriously, give them a follow and a like. They're like the FBI of funny, meticulously investigating every chuckle. They're tackling Tom Segura's latest Netflix special, Bad Thoughts, with the review asking if it's good or bad. And it had me thinking, what the F, Tom? Dude, Tom's head must be like a dark hole. Like, I don't know, dude. Is it good or bad? It's like asking if my last relationship was good or bad. The answer is it's complicated and probably it involves a lot of therapy. Tom Segura's Bad Thoughts. This special had more mixed reviews than my Aunt Beatriz's tamales. Some people loved it. Some people thought it was less thought-provoking and more just thoughts. Just thoughts. Sometimes bad ones. So our Comedy Enforcement going to give a standing ovation or strongly worded cease and desist order? I don't know, but I'm ready to find out. Because Tom Segura is thinking about quitting comedy to just become an actor, a writer, a producer, executive producer, director, all that stuff. And should he just stay doing stand-up comedy? Some people say his stand-up comedy is not good anymore. Should he just become a podcaster and nothing else? Because YMH is awesome. I love Your Mom's House. I keep my pants high and tight. You know what I mean? I'm one of the mommies. That does not sound very good. I'm a dude, not a mommy. But I'm a mommy. I'm a mommy is like if you watch YMH. Anyway, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's see if Tom Segura's show is actually worth watching. So let's get into it.
I didn't know this, but when you moved to LA, your original goal was to be an actor,
Yes,
not a comedian.
not at all. No, I think you were my North Star. I was like, I'm gonna do what you did. Sometimes you have to remind yourself, like, of what your dream, like your original dream. And my dream when I moved to LA had nothing to do with stand-up. I never thought of stand-up. Not to say that I don't love doing stand-up today. I'm in love with stand-up. But I moved to LA because I was like, oh, I want to do movies. Like that was my whole thing. I want to do comedy movies.
That's so cool. I didn't even know that was your original dream. I've known you forever.
I know, yeah. It was. I guess I was probably like, I kind of was resigned to that's not going to happen too. You know, not like.
So Tom Segura's new show on Netflix, Bad Thoughts, has
Hold on. Give me a second, Comedy Enforcement. Yeah, so right there when he was talking to Joe Rogan, he said that when he first got to LA, when he first started doing stand-up comedy, his goal wasn't to do stand-up comedy, wasn't to be a stand-up comedian. He was actually, I think he was taking like some acting classes or something, and then he was doing like improv, and then they like invited him to a comedy show, and they like made him do comedy, and then he liked it, and then he just blew up with it after doing it and doing it and doing it, and he thought that was like his way into acting, I think, and it has taken him like 30 years or something, but he's finally just like acting. He's done a bunch of other acting things before, but now he's like, this is this whole TV series that is just him. He wrote it, he stars in it and everything. But yeah, he says his first goal was not to be a stand-up comedian. He always wanted to be in Hollywood, be an actor and all that.
now been out for a week. And I got to say, that was one of the shows that I was actually waiting for because it was supposed to be the last test for the Rogan Sphere comedians to show Hollywood that they can actually hang with the big boys, because for the longest time, they would always talk about how if only they had the chance to do a Hollywood movie or get a TV show, they would make the best comedy possible. But recently, a lot of them have gotten opportunities with Netflix, and the results have been very underwhelming. And so
I don't know if I'll say underwhelming. Well, most of them, yes. But there's one show, the show that came out last year, Tires, by Shane Gillis. Tires is that's a show, bro. Tires is funny. I like watching Tires. If you haven't seen Tires, watch Tires on Netflix from Shane Gillis, and then tell me if you like it. I really like that show. I thought it was funny, and I hear the second season's coming out soon. So, yeah.
So again, Tom Segura was the last hope. Based on his last comedy specials on Netflix, he was by far the best stand-up comedian out of the whole Rogan sphere.
Well, Shane Gillis wasn't part of the Rogan sphere, but now he is. And since he's part of the Rogan sphere now, he's the best stand-up comedian in the Rogan sphere. But let me check Google real quick. Tires season 2 date? I wonder if the date is out there yet. Tires season 2 premieres on Netflix June 5th. June 5th. So it's like in a week. So yeah, nice. All right, let's do this.
But when it comes to the show, I have mixed feelings because the immature part of me that was a big fan of Tom back then, you know, that part of me did find some of the sketches funny, but I had really high hopes for the show, not gonna lie. You know, just for some context, back when Louis C.K. did his own show, he was about 43 years old, so a little bit younger than Tom is right now. And this might sound dumb, but I really thought the show would be more like Louis. Obviously, not at the same level, but, you know, similar style. I don't think Tom ever mentioned that it was supposed to be a sketch show. The way he was talking about it, he made it sound like it was multiple short films or short stories turning into a big show.
So I had
Yeah, and that is what I didn't like about it. I mean, it's a good series. Each episode or whatever is cool. I'm not gonna give any spoilers or anything, but the show, what it is every episode is its own story. It's like, yeah, it's like a mini film, mini story, a short story within each episode, and the episodes do not relate to each other. So there's not like a story that's like continuing. You know what I mean? It's not like a TV series where you can sit down and watch episode 1 through 6 and you're like, oh, it's a story about a guy that this happens to him. Like, no, every episode, it's like a different character, a different place, a different situation. It's a different story. It has nothing to do with the previous episode, has nothing to do with the next episode. You know, they're all individual stories. And I don't like that. I like I wanted it to be a story, you know, like a whole story that continues through every episode. But okay.
written all these like short stories, short films. And I called my friend Rami Hashash and I was like, hey, I have a break coming up on tour. Let's shoot a short film, because we'd done other things before. And when I sent him like 10 different scripts. He was like, what if we did 3 of these? I was like, how can we do 3 of them? He's like, we'll shoot like 11 days in a row. After we shot those 3, it was clear that we had like the, you know, the bones of a show. Like, what if we did a show that was based on short stories, you know, like short films, basically.
But instead, what we got was a sketch show with 6 episodes under 22 minutes long, which is pretty wild. And it was also using a similar format as his 69-minute comedy special, which was horrible and we covered back then. Now, if you compare it to that one, then yes, of course, this show was way better. You know, Tom's introduction to the sketches was pretty good. He had some good lines, and some sketches did follow somewhat of a storyline and were not just random ideas, and others were so silly and nasty that, you know, they did make me chuckle. But the way Tom has been acting recently, you would think that he just made and released Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because he's taking himself way too serious. And so in this video, we'll go over Tom talking about some of the sketches and things that happened behind the scenes, but we'll also talk about the show and some of the sketches. So
real quick, what he just said is that Tom is taking himself way too serious. Like I said at the beginning of this video, is that Tom is taking this so serious that he's thinking about quitting comedy. He's thinking about quitting comedy so that he can become just an actor, director, whatever, just to be in Hollywood. So I don't know. Watch the show and tell me what you think. Do you think he has a future in Hollywood, just making films, TV series, and stuff like that? I don't know. Some of the stories, some of the episodes are just cringe, just like bad, not bad. I mean, dark comedy. It's all dark comedy. If you know Tom Segura's comedy, if you watch YMH, Your Mom's House, you know Tom Segura has very dark humor. He has very dark humor, and his comedy is kind of crazy sometimes. It's out there sometimes, like killing babies type of jokes sometimes. And some of the episodes are just like that, just like the shock factor, just like the awe value, just like the damn, did that just happen type of a thing for that like dark comedy joke of it, you know? And some of them actually do have like a story within that episode that's cool or whatever, but it's still funny. But all of them are weird, strange, and yeah, it's out there. It's out there. So get ready if you're gonna watch it.
So, of course, there will be a lot of spoilers. But with that said,
¿Quieres transformar tu carrera? Mi nombre es Carlos, soy analista de datos.
Sorry guys, I don't have YouTube Premium because I'm poor. So you guys want to donate money to me someday so I can pay for YouTube Premium.
Let's pick apart bad thoughts, because
Sure.
I mean it's millions and millions of people are watching it right now.
Yeah.
And it's still this is the next week, so we don't know, or the week after, whatever, but we don't know where it is right now, but I'm guarantee you it's still in the top 10. It is so fucking funny, but it is, god damn it is so your sense of humor.
It is my sense of humor. It totally is.
My parents started watching it.
Oh my God.
Dad called this morning and he goes, the fuck was I watching? The fuck is this? This eating, guys, ladies eating his ass. I mean, what the fuck? They let that on Netflix? You are the definition. Every person who goes, I want to show on Netflix, but I don't want any notes.
Yeah.
You are the only person I've ever seen do that.
I mean, yeah, it kind of does feel like that. The only note they ever gave me was don't say the N-word.
Okay, let's pick apart my favorite sketches.
Okay, sure.
My favorite one, number one, I will tell you right now, this is the best. I think you have the best opening to a Netflix show I've ever seen. That sketch, the assassin sketch, is so brilliant. It's so
thanks,
brilliant because it builds in such an unexpected way, but it's such a great way to grab a viewer and go, this is what you're ready for. You go over the top in places that are like the perfect, you walking with shit on your legs. I was crying laughing. If someone doesn't like it, then yeah, you don't like Tom, I guess. Then that's cool.
Yeah, totally.
We all have different sense of humors. You can't deny it's not funny, but if you go, it's too much for me, then you go, yeah, okay, I get it.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, that's, the feedback, because I think some of the people in production, I prepared them for this. I was like, this isn't a stand-up special, but I go, it's the same kind of thing is going to happen. It comes out, I go, you're going to have a lot of people shower it with love and say how great it is. And then I go, if you want, you can just keep looking and you find the people that are like, I hate this is the worst. I go, you can't like just focus on it. You just have to accept it's part of how it goes. You put something out, you're not in control of how people react, but like we love it, the people that made it. And I'm like, just, be happy that some people really love it, and then just move forward. You can't like.
I haven't read it.
dwell.
I mean, you come up in my news thread. I've blocked me. My name never comes up, but you come up in my news thread.
Yeah.
And I saw like 3 things, all very fucking positive.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I mean,
so right now as we record this, the show is number 6 on Netflix, which I don't know how much that matters. And it has a 6 on IMDb. And so it definitely has mixed reactions. Some of the fans seem to like it since there's a lot of references for YMH fans and Rogan fans, but also
This right here, this is one of the coolest sketches. Just if you're watching YMH, Your Mom's House, then you're familiar with Tom and Christina's conspiracy theories about Garth Brooks. And so he has a whole episode about that where he's like a country singer when he has people like in a concentration camp type of a thing where he tortures them with his music and he kind of steals their ideas to write his music with. And I don't know, it's crazy. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's a crazy story. But it's so funny just because if you know how Tom has this conspiracy theory about Garth Brooks having people tied up in the basement or something.
it seems like a lot of people that are not the biggest podcast fans or the biggest Tom Segura fans are not liking the show because of how over the top it feels, which I don't think that's the problem. And instead, I think the problem is that they didn't work on the story or the writing. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I know anything about film or whatever.
But you know what I think the problem is not any of the stuff that he just said. I think what the problem is that a lot of these episodes, like that Garth Brooks episode, they're written they're written. It seems like they're written for people like me that watch YMH, that watch Your Mom's House, that have seen all like Tom Segura's stand-up specials, because it's stuff that he talks about that he has talked about these kind of things on YMH, on Your Mom's House, like the Garth Brooks episode, like this right here. He's right there doing VR. And so if you watch the podcast with his wife Christina, he talks about his VR, how he plays a bunch of VR, and he thinks he's like a soldier because he plays war games on his VR. You know what I mean? And he's like, "Oh yeah, you should thank me for my service because I just saved everybody in the VR video game."
But I feel like there's a reason why the best movies build up to that wild and shocking moment that surprises everyone. But when it comes to Bad Thoughts, it felt like almost every sketch was mainly focusing on that shock factor instead of having, good writing and good jokes. For example, the first opening sketch where he's like the worst hitman ever.
You know what? He does have good writing and good jokes. It's just that he is very, very focused on that shock value, shock factor. And like I said, it's a lot of them is jokes from YMH and his podcast and stuff. So yeah.
But I feel like they just relied on all the basic and lazy jokes, accidentally shooting civilians, a lady, then a kid, then a joke about him shooting himself and running around with no pants, pretending that never happened. But it turns out they had a 4K camera watching him the whole time. He was also begging the boss to not tell anyone, and in exchange, he would basically please him in any way he wanted with oral sex, and then he tried to off himself. Now, to be fair, Tom's acting was pretty good. It wasn't bad, but the other big one that wasn't as good was Tom playing the guy working at the retirement home, because that one was very predictable. And also, it's another example of them relying on that shock value because it wasn't that funny and the ending felt rushed. It almost feels like they didn't finish and just said fuck it and turned it in. And so the first 3 episodes, the first half of the show was definitely the weakest. Now, the sketches about the IT guy I thought were pretty good and had a lot of potential because it kind of gave me like a Silicon Valley vibe, but way darker. And so again, it had a lot of potential, but not the way they did it, because the whole premise was okay. It was, it was basically an IT guy getting into an argument with someone he worked with. Then he ends up hating him. So then he spends the rest of his life.
All right. Hey, this actor right here is the guy from Sopranos. You guys don't know. He's the kid in Sopranos, the son. But yeah, that's one thing that's cool about this show is that he has a lot of his friends like in the show, like as actors. Same like Shane Gillis in Tires. He has a bunch of his friends on that show. And I think it's cool. It's always cool when somebody makes it and then they put their friends on their movies and shows and stuff like that. It's just kind of helping them out, it's awesome. Yeah.
Hating him, and eventually creates this massive video game and becomes super rich, and ends up tricking that same guy that he hates into getting into a VR world, into a simulation where he's forced to eat cake out of his dad's. You get the point. Think about what a young, edgy guy would think of, and you will likely guess it if you haven't seen that sketch. And by the way, don't forget to like the video. It helps out so much, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I will say, to date, my favorite sketch out of all of them, is the talent show.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Is that one, man? And I think because I feel like your dad would have loved it.
Oh yeah, he would have been like, "What's the funny part?" That's all very real. Those are all things that I like heard him say, about Vietnam.
The this guy sketch.
Yeah, the portal stuff with Rob Eiler.
I don't want to give it away in case you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. But the Kirk Fox part,
he's so
the reveal is my favorite. My favorite. How'd you do it? It's so good. It's so good. And by the way, he's awesome in the. I mean, I don't want to tease too much to like.
Yeah.
But like the dad and the cake and that had me, Tom, like this, like
That one is that's one of my favorites too. I love the black and white one with the
dude. Shut the fuck up! I didn't realize that was you.
That's me. Yeah.
Leanne, I'm watching it, and
Okay, we're gonna stop right there. I want to spoil too much for you guys. And also I don't want you guys to watch the whole video, me reacting to the whole video. I want you guys to go to Comedy Enforcement YouTube channel and you can watch the whole video there. Watch the rest of the video. Make sure you subscribe and give them a like. They do some awesome videos. But yeah, that's pretty much the important stuff. Yeah, this show's kind of crazy. It's kind of out there. But go to Netflix and watch it. See if you like it and let me know what you think. All right. So yeah, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. See you guys on the next one. Peace.